Hi, I'm Emily.
It went terribly well, didn't it? Yeah, it's really good.
Every time.
Yeah, it's really good. Shall we do? All right then, Emily, it's all up to you.
I can do this, totally. Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Paulus.
And this is Up Your Arts.
The podcast which explores how the arts can enrich your life.
Yay! We got there. Sorry, listeners, that's just taken us about 5 attempts again.
Yeah. That's worse than the last time, isn't it?
No, I know. It's all my fault because I giggle. And yes.
I don't know. I think I was still on holiday mode, if I'm honest with you.
Yes, where have you been?
I've been to Israel, mostly Tel Aviv.
Ah, how was that?
Well, first of all, it was lovely and it was a great experience. And if you want to see street art and graffiti, oh my God, I've never been anywhere so exciting. Or you can just check out my Facebook page and save yourself a lot of money and an airfare. But the food is really, really nice and people generally are really, really friendly. I think I thought that it was going to be really gay-centric because of things I'd seen on telly and like Eurovision and stuff. And a few friends who are from Tel Aviv who said it was really, really gay-friendly. But I don't think one should confuse somewhere being gay-friendly with having a gay ghetto or a gay village. It's really weird, actually. There were some people on TripAdvisor who, like there's a guy from New York who was like really annoyed. He'd come all the way to Tel Aviv and like, where is this village? Where is all of the gay stuff? And the thing is that there isn't gay stuff. It's just that I think the advertising campaign and the Eurovision campaign and the things that people I've met have been really saying is, you won't be killed. That's, this is the Middle East after all.
Yeah. And they are at war still? Yeah.
Well, I think they're kind of constantly at war with 4 or 5 different countries around them because of who owns what and where the borders are. It's quite a low-level war. It's like just like an anxiety more than a war. It's weird, but as a tourist, you don't really feel affected by that. And if you stay in Tel Aviv, you probably wouldn't feel affected by that. But yeah, there are what's those people called? Soldiers.
Yes.
With guns on the street. Yeah, you see people with guns on the street all the time. Yeah. They're usually quite smiley.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I met a few people whilst I was travelling who had done their 1 year, because it's, what's the word? When you have to be in the... I'm doing it again.
Military service?
Yes.
Hey. So we'll get to the stage where you won't have to say words to me and I'll just know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Should be interesting for the listener.
But yeah, they because after they do the military service, they then automatically go on. Well, this was when I was travelling 10 years ago. The people that I met automatically went on a year gap year, basically just to kind of recover and have some fun. And yeah,
my husband is Italian, and they used to have military service, and he moved to England to escape it, so he never did it. Ooh. Yeah. Which I think that's very wise, because I don't think he'd have thrived in that sort of environment. I don't think you're allowed to wear Gucci and have brunch, which is what he would rather be doing than, drills and things like that.
So anyway, that took an unexpected turn.
I thought you were keeping us on track.
I was meant to be. As ever, I've failed in that endeavour once again. Inspired, that's seamless, inspired by our podcast with Roman Ackley, our very first podcast, I took up the artist's way.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment.
This is Julia Cameron's, I call it a workbook.
Yeah.
And you just said took up rather than read.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested in, but carry on.
Yeah, because it's like a course. It's like a 3-month course, essentially, that you have tasks each week to do. And it is very much a, what's the word I'm looking for. Again, I'm lost for words. Every time this microphone is in front of me, everything goes.
When you were at school, did the careers advisor ever say to them, anything but podcast, just nothing with the microphone?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, I used to get a terrible twitch whenever I spoke in front of people.
Oh, so this is actually a really massive deal.
Yes,
that you're doing this.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Keep it quiet.
Well, this is the fourth one we've recorded, so that's really brilliant.
And it's only taken 4 or 5 takes at the beginning to get going.
Just say hello.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very much, you have to be very strict with yourself.
The artist's way.
Yeah. On a morning to do your morning pages and then fitting in the tasks as well. Like, I'm finding that a little bit difficult.
Tasks like you have to go on an artist's date once a week at least.
Yes.
And that's a date with yourself. You can't go on an artist's date with a friend or with your partner. And it can't be like a list of things, you can't go shopping on your artist's date. It's not like, I've always needed some Chervil, so I'll go to the Chervil shop. Unless the Chervil's going to become like a painting or an installation, I suppose that would be acceptable. No, I think that's still a task. I think you have to sort of go out without portfolio and go, okay, world, inspire me.
Yeah, exactly. I went swimming as one of them.
Right, okay.
Which, So she listed swimming on there, and I was like, I can do swimming.
Yeah,
I know what swimming is.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's sort of something repetitive, and I've been for a walk as well.
You're married? That's quite repetitive.
Yeah,
just be married.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
Let's not unpack that box this morning.
No. Too early. But yeah, I realised this West Brompton cemetery just around the corner.
Oh, yes, beautiful.
And to do an hour walk as an artist date is just like, I just have to walk around the corner.
And have you been there before, to the cemetery?
Only once, and I've lived there for 4 years.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know if it's only a London thing, but just really squandering brilliant, amazing, and often completely free things that are just around the corner. Where if you went away, if you drove for 2 hours for a weekend away, or even flew, 2 or 3 hours to a different country, you'd make a massive deal out of the fact that there was some cemetery near your hotel that was full of really, really beautiful sculptures, I suppose is what they are.
Yeah, and famous people as well, although I can't remember who they are, sorry. I just go and wander around and look at the snowdrops and things. So, yeah, it has been good. But, I was surprised when you told me that you hadn't actually done The Artist's Way, that you've only read it.
Yeah. So some people, I think The Artist's Way is a book.
Yeah.
And I think I thought it was when I first experienced it, because maybe I wouldn't have done it. And maybe I wouldn't have experienced it at all if I'd known there was, work involved, because I'm quite work shy. And it is, as you say, it's a 12-week course, and I think of The Artist's Way as predominantly a workbook in 12 chapters.
Yeah.
Just like, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, there are 12 steps / 12 chapters, and it's really weird actually when you start looking into that world of sort of recovering or improving yourself. There's usually 12 things, steps, chapters, weeks, or whatever it is. There's usually 12. And no, I haven't, and I apologise if I've misled anybody, but no, I've
totally misled me. I'm not happy.
Well, I advocate this book to lots and lots of people, students of mine, and I make very clear to them when I say I've read it, I haven't done it, and I've read it twice. And I've got a tremendous amount out of it simply by doing it. I have been on artists' dates. I know I'll go on more, and I have had a bash at morning pages. But like I said before, nobody says how long a morning page should be. So.
Oh, I should have brought the book with me.
book?
It's huge, the Morning Pages book. They have a workbook that goes with it, and I decided to buy that. And the Morning Pages are big.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, since I read it the first time, I've been thinking that the Morning Pages, because the woman in the book, the woman who wrote The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron, she never specifies how big a page you have to fill with writing. She just says every morning fill 3 pages with writing when you first get up. And I'm like, is this like postage stamp? Is this like a postcard? Thinking as little as possible the work I need to do, you know, big, right, really big. Wrong. No.
It's like, it's bigger than A4.
Oh, God.
I know. My first week of morning pages, I did leave gaps between paragraphs. I was like, there's a line there, that's fine. But today, actually, I filled it all.
Well done. Congratulations.
So there we go.
Now,
achievement.
I would like you to seamlessly segue into introducing today's guest. Go on.
Yeah.
Be amazing. Take us from the morning pages.
Well, we have the wonderful Sakisa /Onyx /Twix with us today. Now, you have
Hello.
Hello, Twix.
Hello.
Been sitting there for 9 minutes being ignored. How
No,
you?
it's fine. I was very intrigued.
Yeah. But you're very creative. Like,
Am I?
Yeah, you're doing all sorts of, because you're in the burlesque world, you're in the comedy world, and you're in the immigration world as well.
I don't know if you can call immigration creative, but okay.
Well, I suppose as a solicitor, you have to kind of put on when you're in court. Do you go to court?
Yeah, I
with your
do my own
job?
tribunal hearings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So can we unpack that? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So is there a theatricality to that? Is it creative? So you go to tribunal hearings as a solicitor in your day job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not as what people would imagine on TV. So it's not, unfortunately, it's not like...
Do you get to go objection and stuff
No,
like that?
unfortunately not. Because everyone mainly sees like criminal cases on TV and stuff like that. Tribunals where immigration cases are heard are very, very different. They're a bit more casual. They're open to the public as well, so people can just sit in and watch tribunal hearings.
Is there a judge?
There is a judge, but we don't call the judge Your Honour.
No.
We call them Sir or Madam.
Oh, and not Your Honour or My Lord or...
No.
Is there a wig and gowns?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
I just have to dress posh and in the suit.
Okay. What
that's-
does posh look like for you?
Not what I'm used to. It would be it's normally me in a suit and heels, or I've got a quote unquote heels. So it's normally me in a suit and heels, which for those of you who know me, that's not how I dress for work. So it's normally me looking actually quite nice. And my mum looks very proud when I dress up in a suit. It's normally a suit from Primark or Next though. Because I do not make
Nobody needs to know.
Yeah. It looks good though. I look good in it. So it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so it is kind of like a performance because you are making arguments, you're making submissions, you are asking appellants questions. The Home Office representative is there, judge will ask some questions. It's kind of like a show, if you want to put it that way. But you are like expressing and emphasizing stuff to make your point across.
Is there a different part of yourself that you have to or can tap into when you're in that suit and in front of that judge?
I've got to pretend I'm educated.
You're a lawyer, you must be educated.
I know, but I've got to actually act like I am educated and use words that I would normally, like most people will know that I don't speak like a lawyer.
Right.
So just whenever I say that I'm a lawyer or solicitor, people are like, are you sure? Because I don't act or speak like a lawyer.
Do you mean your accent or your?
This is how I speak in general. Like I don't really like to use legal jargon. See, even that word is just like a big word for me. Jargon. What?
You said appellants a minute ago,
Yeah.
and I don't know what that means. So.
So it's appellants is someone that I would represent. So
Okay.
someone who is making a case to remain in the UK. So like I don't use legal jargon. I don't like using legal jargon. It just confuses everyone. I'd rather just use simple words in life because life is simple. So whenever I'm in tribunal, I've got to use certain words or present myself in a certain aspect so I look professional. And yeah, it's really weird sometimes because I'm just like, this is not me.
So would you say that because you took up comedy before burlesque, I think. Is that right? Or was it about the same time?
You gave me my first gig, actually, Emily, didn't you?
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Which was at the Cav.
That's the Cavendish Arms in
Stockwell.
In London.
I used to dance. So I used to dance when I was younger. I've done all different kind of things when I was younger, and my parents were never really supportive of me being a dancer. One side of it was because they never thought I would ever be successful as a dancer because of just how the world is. And also, I'm kind of seen as a plus size person, even though I'm a size 16, which isn't the average size in the UK. So it's quite competitive when you just hanging around ski bitches all your life when you're younger.
What sort of dance are we talking about? We're talking about like ballet? And
No, I used to do contemporary and street dance. So street and what's it called? Street and
there's jazz, contemporary, ballet, street
commercial. That's what I'm thinking. Thank you.
That's right.
Oh, Emily got a word.
Emily got a word. Yes, yeah. So you see the street and commercial dance.
Can we? I'm just going to check in with Keith, our technician here at this point, Twix. Is there a button? I mean, it might not exist now, but maybe for the next episode, is there a noise that for when Emily gets a word, we can like ting? If we can just find something. Thanks, Keith. He's wearing a really nice Mickey Mouse shirt today.
It's looking very lovely.
So then that wasn't a world. That world didn't. You didn't fit in that world, or that world didn't want you, or just your parents.
Yeah, I kind of felt like the world wasn't really accepting, and it was very bitchy and competitive.
Even street dance.
Yeah.
Oh, because I've worked with street dance. I've introduced street dance groups quite a lot as a compere, and they, the people I meet, the ones that have got as far as getting on stage in a big event,
yeah,
they're that it's we can do this, we're amazing, and they cheerlead for each other and for themselves in a massive way. But maybe that's only if you get as far as getting to do a show. I don't know.
It's just all very it's all very competitive. I found when I was doing it. This was like 10 years ago.
What age were you then, if you don't mind me asking? Give us a ballpark. Were you in your 10s, your 20s?
I was in my late teens to 22. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I went into teaching, and then I discovered burlesque in the pub where I was working, which was the Cavendish Arms, and I was introduced to Emily, and then I kind of decided I was going to do what I incorporate as my version of burlesque / dance into the cabaret world. I kind of saw myself as a cabaret performer rather than a burlesque performer, and then I did my first performance, which wasn't Emily's shows. Emily gave me my first official gig, I should say. And then I kind of just stopped doing it because I kind of felt like what I didn't really fit into the cabaret world and burlesque world. And then I also had a back condition, which kind of affected my movement. So I kind of stopped dancing for a while. And then I ended up finding stand-up comedy during that time. And then a few years after me doing stand-up, I occasionally was doing like this one-off performances as myself. I didn't have a name as in Onyx wasn't really created as a name.
So we've already said like a whole bunch of different names for you.
Yeah.
Can you sort of make that clear for everybody listening? Let's go through your names and what they mean and when they make sense.
So Sakisa is my real name.
Yeah.
It is the name that I go under with comedies sometimes. Most of the time, I should say. Twix is a nickname I got in university, which is the first name I used to use when I was on stage. So most people that I was performing with when I was first starting, or even just nowadays, will still call me Twix. Most people call me Twix. It's just a nickname that just kind of latched on to me. And then Onyx Fatale is a name that was created 4 years ago when I decided I was going to give burlesque a proper bash. And then, so Onyx Fatale is the official burlesque name. which I didn't have before. I used to walk on stage and be like, "Hey, I'm here," and it had no name.
I got no name.
I got no name.
What about, is Twix about? Is this about chocolate, or what is this?
Twix. So Twix is a nickname. Like I said, I got at university. It came about from law school. So I've got two other friends who are in what we call the chocolate family. It's my best friend Naomi. Her nickname is Snickers. And my friend Corinne, her nickname is Cadbury's Caramel.
Nice.
So we were in law school, and then we didn't really pay attention in class, and we used to bring chocolates into class, and our tutor was like, "Oh, you should name yourself the Chocolate Girls." So we kind of named ourselves after a chocolate that represents us. Not a name that we like that chocolate, more like a chocolate that represents us. So, which is unfortunate because I keep getting Twixes.
Do people buy them for you?
Yeah, people buy like at Christmas and birthdays, like novelty style stuff in Twix.
No.
Like I got like like Nutella. I got like a Twix version of that.
What, in a jar?
Yeah.
You can get Twix in a jar?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, got Twix in a jar. Like in a chocolate spread Twix. I didn't eat it, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of chocolate, which is really interesting.
Your girlfriends that are in this club with you, are they also people of colour?
Yeah.
They are, right? And is that part of it? Or is it just that you ate chocolate in
It was just because we ate chocolate.
Right. So the
yeah.
fact that you're people of colour is just, that's just coincidental.
There is a white girl that we haven't seen in ages that was originally in the group. We haven't seen her in ages. She was, what was
Milky
she?
Way.
No, she wasn't actually. I can't remember what her name was, but she was in it as well. But we haven't seen her in years. And then my friends, they both are married, so they have now got chocolate husbands. So there's Lion Bar and there's Ripple, and then my best friend's got a baby. I don't think we've decided on what the chocolate name for the baby is. It might be 12. I'm not quite sure. We haven't decided yet. So if there is normally initiation, if you want to get into a chocolate family, there's like a test. You're going to come to chocolate meetings.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You don't think I'm joking. Yeah, there's actually a test.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. People are like, "Oh, I want to be in a chocolate family." We're like, "No, you can be a biscuit."
How did the husbands feel about being Lion and Ripple? Did they get to choose those names? I have a feeling they didn't.
No, they didn't. That's what
I bet Lion's delighted that he's a lion.
We're Lion Bar. It's because he's got dreadlocks, so he looks like a bit like a lion.
Right. Okay.
So-
and Ripple is really
Because he's tall.
Oh, I see.
Because he's really tall.
Because he's got no
He's skinny as well?
bones.
He's skinny and tall.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Needs to go to yoga.
yeah. So there's a whole family.
Yeah.
We have like chocolate meetings and we do stuff. So that's cool.
What's the situation, if there is one at all, with your day job? Is that offensive to call your being a solicitor a day job and the other stuff you do, evening job?
Apart from being tired, I'm so tired. So tired. You have no idea. Work is because I work for a charity now. So I don't work for a law firm. I work for a charity, and I do fundraising stuff for the charity in terms of comedy mainly. So I do stand-up shows for the charity. So they're very supportive and aware that I do that for them. It's the day job is a very different part of my life, but I find doing arty stuff like comedy and burlesque and cabaret shows very therapeutic for me. It gets you away from the stress of the day job and lets your mind push into a different world. So you don't have to worry about what's happening during the day. Sometimes it can obviously affect you, but like most of the time, it's a completely different world.
So it's sort of like leaving the day job or the suit at the door, to become Onyx or Twix. Which,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because as I say, your burlesque has definitely become more of a kind of expression now. I feel when I've seen it, like. It's much bigger and bolder than
because I had to spend money on costumes. Mainly the costumes, but
it does look like it's more of a release, I think. I mean, that's just me as an observer.
I've kind of got more comfortable doing burlesque. over the last few years. I kind of realized that how there is a place for what I do in the world. I didn't have to be like pretty and like just stand on stage being like, I'm gonna take off my stocking now. No offense to people that do that. You do very good doing that. I just can't. That's not me. It's just not me and my style.
So if I was to ask you to give us 3 words for people that haven't ever seen you on stage or seen a picture of you that are listening to this podcast, if you gave them 3 words to describe the attitude and the vibe that comes across when Onyx Fatale appears on stage in a burlesque show or a cabaret variety show, what 3 words might you choose?
Sassy, powerful, black.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you've recently, so I'm trying to paraphrase, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, so please correct me if I get this wrong. But I'm just want to be clear. You feel like there is now, or you now feel that there is a place in the burlesque scene or in the variety scene for this sassy, powerful black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is not many black burlesque performers in the UK.
Okay.
Compared to what else is out there. But I have been lucky enough to be in a very amazing community called the Cocoa Butter Club.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who empower other black artists to come forward, and it feels like home when you're on stage with other performers and you're performing what you do out into the audience of people who may not know that we can do something different and that we're just as special and unique as everyone else. And then last year Demi Noir, who is just amazing, she directed and produced the first Black Review at the Underbelly, which was featured black burlesque performers, which included myself, Demi Noir, Cleopanther.
Cleopanther.
Yeah.
Awesome name.
Oh, she's amazing.
I want to introduce Cleopanther. I've introduced you and Demi, but I've never introduced Cleopanther.
Yeah, Cleopanther is absolutely amazing at what she does. She is epic, and she's changing the game as well, which I feel, and she's so awesome. She's so powerful on stage. She's so amazing. I love her to death. Yeah. But yeah, it's a different. I feel like there's a massive shift, in people having a voice, and I get booked not just to do burlesque at cabaret shows, but also to do stand up because it's something different and something unique, and people want to hear a woman's voice on stage and not just see them do what they do on stage in terms of performing and doing an amazing striptease.
My hunch, and I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is that the stand-up game in this country must be dominated by sort of white male guys in t-shirts. White male guys in t-shirts. Is that true? And is that changing?
Yeah, it is the case. There have been in the last few years avenues and push for like female comics as well as ethnic minority comics to like be pushed forward in the industry and the scene. And some people may think that I get the things I get because of the fact that I'm a woman, but also the fact that I am an ethnic minority. But the truth is 10 years ago I probably wouldn't have these opportunities because the world was so dominated by straight white men, and it's now a time where everyone's voice needs to be heard, not just ethnic minorities, not just females, not just queer people. Everyone's voice needs to be heard, and everyone has a voice, and it should be everyone has the equal opportunity to be able to do that on stage or on a podcast. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So is there a real sense from you that there whether it's ever said out loud or not of oh yeah, she's the token gesture here?
Oh yeah,
or, yeah.
It's there'll be, I'll do shows and I'll be the token. Yeah, I'll be either the token, if it's comedy or burlesque, I'll be the token black person or the token woman.
I mean, they've ticked many a box with you.
I know.
They've got you on that lineup,
I know. Woman, yeah. Black, yeah. There you go.
Wasn't there a phase with BBC One panel shows?
Yeah,
that was it.
They had to have at least one female on the bill on a panel show. And now, if you notice, they've got it now where it's like, oh shit, we can't just have one. We got to have two.
Did you see there's an article, Sandy Togsvik wrote an article somewhere, which I saw online, that said her experience of presenting QI and being on other panel shows is that even though there, for a long time, has been at least one woman on the panel, they get edited out.
Yeah.
Because she knows how much they said in the studio, because she's one of them, and sometimes the presenter, and she spoke in publicly and went, we get edited out anyway. Tick as many boxes as you like. Editors just decide what they want to do anyway.
Like yesterday I did
the fact she said that out loud means that can change. Sandy.
Like yesterday I did a show at Angel Comedy, which I am at quite regularly, and I was the last one on the bill, and I had already seen the lineup. I was doing 4 shows yesterday, so I was running, this is my 3rd show, so I was running over to come and do it, but I had already seen the lineup, and it was 5 acts that were on, and they were all ethnic minorities. They were all ethnic minorities, and only the host was white. So I came on stage, I was like, hey guys, you enjoying your ethnic minority show? How's everyone doing?
So it's this constant plinth, it's this constant balancing of, have we got this right? Have we ticked? Have we offended? Are we right on here? Are we woke enough?
Yeah.
And of course you get to exploit that for comedy reasons.
Always.
You know,
Always.
Have you got
Siri going off?
is there
Siri's going off.
Oh, Keith, is this your... Oh, sorry. So unprofessional.
That's right.
Well, you must have said something that Kiri wanted to, join in with.
Is it ethnic minority? I don't know.
They're listening.
They're listening.
Means we're saying something really important.
Well, like, I think, like, having the platform to be able to say things like Dave, who was on the Brit Awards, gave a very powerful performance of a song called Black, and it was reported quite a lot in the papers the next day because he called out the Prime Minister and called him racist. And it's a very powerful performance, and he talks about quite a lot of things, and him having the platform to say that on live TV and him not being edited out was amazing. And it was so powerful to watch, especially as a young black man who's just saying things that I say all the time, like we're not just from the hood or like the ends, which we don't was just sell crack. I don't have weed in my pocket all the time. I have got an education. I haven't got any kids. I have never been to prison. I do not have a criminal history. Don't come for me. Like, let me just be who I want to be, and that's just. And I'm sure there are several people there's so different types of people in this world, but I feel like ethnic minorities get labeled as one thing, but everyone at every race or gender, they have go through those different types of things. Like there are white people who are crackheads or drug dealers or stuff like that. There are black people who are educated. We had a black president, for God's sake.
Exactly.
So,
I was actually, again, something one of those things that you glance across online and don't really read the whole article, shamefully, was somebody, I think it was a lawyer actually, was saying, there's a whole bunch of people who that deal in inverted commas drugs, copious amounts of them, and they're called Harvard students. And Yale students, but you will never see any of them go to jail. You will never see any of them lose their jobs and their futures ruined by the copious amounts of cocaine or whatever else they buy. And God, absolutely fucking right.
I mean, I've never done drugs mainly because I can't afford it. So
Do you make money out of burlesque or comedy?
I do, but then it just disappears into bills, unfortunately.
And you talk about costumes earlier. Right?
Oh, the costume! The costume. I'm getting free costumes made at this moment in time because I'm doing 2 brand new acts this year, potentially 3 brand new acts this year, and then I'm performing with the Cocoa Butter Club at the Mighty Hoopla, so I'm getting a new outfit done for that. Just like the money. Yeah, so it is worth it in the end. Like my goddess outfit was made last year by Velvet Jones, who's absolutely amazing, and now that's one of my signature acts that I now do. So in the end, it is worth it to have like a costume made, but it is so expensive. So expensive. Yeah. I used to make them myself, and then I realized how ratty and tatty they looked. So compared to like getting it done professionally, let's just get them all done professionally.
I had an audience member point out that there were holes in my ringmaster jacket at a Women's Institute talk I did. And it was not long after I'd been on the telly, and I was like, oh no, I've really got to replace this. I can't have this woman from Saffron Walden offering to sew it up at a gig. So that's spent another 300 quid on a new jacket.
Yeah.
But the creation of the act, that must be kind of, that must be fun, even though we don't like the look of the price tag. But like storyboarding with Velvet Jones over the idea of the act and things like that.
Yeah, so things, I'm not very good at rehearsing or like planning. Like things just
sounds like you haven't got time from what you've said.
I don't, unfortunately. But things just kind of come together. Like my goddess act actually had a different costume which I had made myself, which looked horrendous, and it wasn't what I envisioned. So when I sat down with Velvet Jones, we discussed about what do I want to do, costume wise, color. I'll never get beige, everyone. Oh my god, it's the worst color in the world to get. This is gonna be like the only costume I'm gonna have that's white or beige. It's ridiculous to clean. Yeah,
that's why, because of the cleaning. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, literally, I have to wash it after every performance because because the floor. The dress is quite long anyway, so it always hits the floor, and sometimes venue floors are not clean. So I just get
skanky, aren't they?
Skanky, so yeah.
And you're a bit like, I've seen your acts, and there's writhing, there's throwing yourself on the floor sometimes.
Oh yeah. I can get quite aggressive. It can be quite in your face, but that's me. So I just like to do what I like to do on stage. And if you like it, thank you. If you don't, keep it to yourself. I enjoy what I do. Like the things like the Burlesque Idol routine that I did, the Disco Diva routine. It kind of just came out of nowhere. It came out because I helped run a show that is co-produced by Victoria Verity called Yer Cabaret, and we were doing a New Year's Eve show, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do like each decade, and we're gonna perform to do each decade." Twix, can you do the 70s? Sure, I can do that. I can get myself a wig. Yeah, I can do something. I can find a song. So I just literally found this song, found a black wig, like big old Afro wig, and was like, what do disco? What does 70s do? Oh, disco. Let's get some disco balls and some bras. Just literally just did it myself. And then that turned into an act.
Well, once you've made that much effort, you may as well just,
It was. Well, if you saw the original outfit, it wasn't that much effort. It really wasn't. It was just like an old coat I had. I was like, there's a coat. We can dance around in that for like a minute, and then take it off, and it could be revealed that how there's disco balls on the bra. That would be it. That was the reveal.
That was the 70s.
That was the 70s. And a black woman in an Afro wig. Yes. Found myself some like sequin shorts. That was it. And I was like, what can we top this off with? What can be great? And my thing was, what would Victoria and Verity love? Specifically Victoria, because everyone knows Victoria Kemba. She's very much...
This is Verity Lewis and Victoria Kemba.
Yeah. Who run Cabaret, and which I helped them co-produce. But they are very much love, especially Vicky loves funny things. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for Victoria. So I made myself an Afro muff that lit up. So that was the reveal, really, was the Afro muff that lit up. And she was dying. So
job done.
Tick.
So you're obviously a teacher of burlesque. 20 years standing, 19 years standing?
No.
You're not that old.
Many years standing.
Many years.
So just to pick up on what Twix was just saying about costume, what is like... I mean, I know that's a joke, and it's funny, and I hear you as a cabaret performer myself. But on a serious note, are there acts which are just like, that's just a costume, that act, and is that okay? Do you know what I mean?
Do you mean like a sparkly costume, but not very...
Whether it be a brilliant costume or a terrible costume, how important is a costume? Can a costume take over? Can it be more important or too important compared to the person? Am I making any sense?
I think I know where you're... Yeah. I had in the years since I got into burlesque anyway, at the beginning, they were very much like what you're describing, like my first costumes as well, were very much like, that'll do. I haven't worn that for a while. Yeah, we'll just stick some bits on here. Yeah, this is fine. It was all very kind of hodgepodge to begin with. And then, and then you started seeing these performers come through who had these gorgeous outfits, and you were like, oh my God, and then you watched them perform and you fell asleep.
Okay. Yeah. Naming no names. Okay.
And it was just kind of like, I do wonder what happened to... Anyway.
Yeah. But, so there's an example of that's just a great costume, but there ain't nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you see people who have not very good costumes, but are amazing to watch, and you're completely engrossed. And they are the ones who will struggle to get the mainstream jobs because they need to upgrade costume, basically.
Yeah, so that's Tempest Rose, after I won Burlesque Idol, who I completely respect and love, especially now that she books me. Thank you. She told me after I won Idol that what I'm doing is absolutely amazing, but if in order for me to I'm on the level that I'm not meant to be on because my costumes are not great. I need to upgrade my level, and get my costumes sorted out. So I did. I upgraded all my costumes. I had 4 performances or 4 acts. I upgraded all of them. And
when she first said that to you, and not that I disagree with the comment, but when she first said that to you, was that difficult to hear?
It was difficult to hear, to be honest. I was a bit like, oh, that's quite hurtful. And because I was just like, I want to be good, because at the time I was just do I fit in this world? And after winning Burlesque Idol, I was like, okay, I could do this. Like, people like what I do. I could do this. So I was like, it's criticism, but it's what's the word? Constructive criticism. So I was not trying to just be horrible. She's trying to help me, and she sees the potential. She needs to push me, and she helped me push me to a different level. Yeah. And I'm forever grateful for that, because otherwise I wouldn't have upgraded all my costumes, and they would not look great when I take pictures.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I see like costumes, like, music videos, like, it can be a great song, but the song, if it's got a great music video, takes it to a different level.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Does your stand-up and burlesque, do they ever cross over? Do you ever do the stand-up act and then go into a burlesque routine?
Yeah.
Or you do?
Yeah. Okay. I have one routine, which is my Beyonce routine, which I do. So I normally do like a stand-up bit at the beginning, and then I talk about the ups and downs of relationships via the means of Beyonce songs. Obviously. And then the last song is Crazy in Love, and I do a burlesque routine to that.
What's that like, mixing 2 different mediums?
For me, it's great, because I get to do 2 things that I enjoy doing. But I think for everyone else, it's seen as unique, because a lot of people don't realize that I'm actually going to end up doing burlesque.
Yeah.
So it's a nice surprise for them. And it's nice to be able to do something that's quite unique.
Yeah.
There's not many people on the cabaret scene that do both.
No, I don't. Can you think of any, Emily?
Not really, not off the top of my head.
Hello, if you want a box Onyx Fatale, feel free.
She ticks many a box.
I tick many a box. I tick so many boxes. So many boxes.
And on that note, I've just checked time. So perfect segue today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Depends on when this is going out.
Well, at the time of recording, our first podcast, our first podcast is alive, and there's 2 others which are queued up. So you will be 4th or 5th or 6th. That's all I can tell you. So probably a month's time.
Okay, fine. In that case, I would say come and see Girl Code. Girl Code is a comedy chat show which I run at 2 North Downs, which is in King's Cross. It's a comedy chat show which I've plugged as if Loose Women was funny. Because I'm not fucking funny, so come and see the show. That I've got, the next one is on the 15th of March, which is on Mother's Day, and then the next one after that will be in April. We do it monthly, so it's absolutely amazing.
I think that would be a cool Mother's Day gift.
Yeah.
Like, take your mum to see this comedy show.
Comedy chat show.
Yeah,
It's fun.
comedy chat show.
Yeah, we have a great time. We have some fun. We talk about subjects every single time that we do the show, so it's a different subject and it's a different lineup every time we do the show. So no one show is the same. So that's the show that I'm running monthly. I'm doing a work in progress for my show called I'm a 7 on the 30th of March with Elf Lines at Camden Comedy Club.
I love Elfie.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
I love her.
I did a clowning workshop with her earlier this year. No, last year. She's so nice.
She's lovely. At Camden Comedy Club on the 30th of March, so come to that. If not, I'm going to be at Brighton doing Brighton Festival.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
I'm going to be doing Girl Code and my work in progress. So.
And still being a lawyer working for charity.
Yeah.
As well as all of that.
Yeah.
And Onyx Fatale.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some days that I just do my full-time job and then go and do like 2 shows. I'm tired. Yeah.
Hashtag I'm tired.
Hashtag I'm tired. That's my life. Just hashtag I'm tired. But blessed. Hashtag blessed but tired. Yeah.
Blessed first. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice.
I realised I didn't ask what you're passionate about the arts, but hey, we have fun.
Well, I don't know. I
think we can tell I am.
Yeah.
Well, you're prepared to not get any sleep.
Yeah, exactly, for the arts. So there we go. That's the conclusion on that.
Yeah. All for the arts hashtag.
Yeah. Up the arts.
Up your arts, yeah, definitely. I feel like there's a million things we didn't get to talk about. It's gone far too fast.
Yeah, I know.
Can podcasts be 3 hours long, please?
That's
Is
fine.
that
You can just
allowed?
get me back later.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yay! Can we? Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking we should do an Edinburgh special because you're going to be in Edinburgh.
I am, yeah,
and
that's
I'm going
true.
to guess you're going to go up there too.
I was not going to go up this year.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, we could do a Brighton special.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I might go up for spots, but I'm not going to go up. It's too expensive.
Come
for my
on, come
liking
up
this
to
year.
Edinburgh. I'm going to be doing the Voodoo Room Ballroom with my Victoria Wood tribute show, Looking for My Friend.
Amazing.
Yay! I'm on at 4:40 p.m. so that little old ladies can come.
It's a good time. No, 4:40 is a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so, because that's the one I've got.
Yeah.
It better be. Okay. So that's...
We're saying goodbye.
yeah,
Is that
I
it?
think so.
Oh, I'm really sad. We haven't even had a chocolate yet. We'll have a chocolate before you go. We'll do it off air. Thanks very much.
Always
Twix.
have a
Thank you
Twix.
so much for coming. Thank you so much for being with us and telling us about what you do.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye!
Bye.
What do you have to say now? Something like sachet away. or
Sachet
something.
away.
Yeah. And we stay.
Yeah.
We stay for the next one. Cool. Well, thanks very much for our fantastic guest, Onyx Fatale / Twix / Sakisa. Is that every name? Yeah.
/ Onyx?
/ Onyx, yeah. All the names and all the boxes ticked there. Marvellous, yes.
Brilliant. Yes, so if you enjoyed today's podcast, please do give us a rating on iTunes. And also, you can follow us on Twitter if you like to tweet. And
Spotify we're on as well, aren't we? That's
Spotify.
a follow.
That's a follow as well. And you can find all of the podcasts on our Linktree /Up Yer Arts, along with how you can find us at the cabaret.
Oh, yeah. We run a cabaret, don't we? I forgot about that. Well, you run it. I turn up and then talk for too long.
Yep. So there's the cabaret and how you can find out a little bit more about me and Paul.
Yay! Paulus.
Yes.
I think people know. It's all right.
Bye.
Bye. We're so bad at this.